Um, all right. Beyond that, I uh, did a stream for Mecha Break, and
Yo, Mecha Break seems very alpha,
mhm,
but very good.
it's really fun. It's interesting to have the contrast of that right after Marvel Rivals as well as like another team shooter, and the
And right before 2XKO.
yes, and
A
the
lot of these alphas.
but Mecha Break, the ask is quite wild of like what they're asking you to do, the speed they're asking you to play at, and like the overall situational awareness is the highest of all, I would say, these recent things I've been trying out.
So
Um
they made a decision at some point. Do we want it to control like very feasibly and understandably for the average person, or do we want the robots to go as fast as it feels like they should be able to go?
yeah.
And they chose that second
A
one.
decision was made. So yes, the first off, all the designs in there are, from Junya Ishigaki and Takayuki Yanase. So that involves basically, if there's any robot ever that you liked, chances are one of these two names was behind it. They worked on literally Metal Gear,
Robot.
Xenogears, Metal Gear Solid, Revengeance, Xenoblade Chronicles, some Ghost in the Shell stuff, a bunch of Gundam stuff, Die Buster, Gao Gaigar, Outlaw Star, Escaflowne. It's they've designed all the great shit. So really good names that are important, and the the kits you're seeing off the different mecha as well are reflective of that. So I ended up spending most of my time with four of the many. There's a whole lot of them actually. Surprisingly large list for the type of game of I guess your champions equivalent. But I went
Mhm.
with the Tricera, which is basically your heavy arms, giant walking, four cannons, bastion mode kind of turret
Yeah.
support. And yeah, that thing is like, hey, we got a payload mission. Cool. Sit on the payload, transform, bzz, daka daka.
Mhm.
Um, but what's fun and like what's really well done about it is that when it's there's little things where you have a fairly simple like kit of like like three or four abilities. There's no alts in the game,
No, yeah.
but when you transform, for example, with the Tricera from from regular mech to like turret mode, there's a parry window that knock back
Yeah,
anything
it's a
coming at
full
you.
second of even more invincibility than usual.
Right? So like you get these little things of like, oh, time your transformation for like a little extra defensive play right here. There was the Panther, which was a fast melee, drill in one hand, sword in the other.
Oh,
Or
but you can switch weapons if you want a shield.
exactly. And shield allows you to parry or block, and if you have it to sword, you can do a combo, and while that combo's charging, hold down the drill button in your other hand, and when that's maxed out, you get a nice slash 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 giga drill breaker. That's a kill, but you got to get in there, right? There's the um Welkin, which was just a big old Zaku style big beam axe, and it puts a box
Is that the one with the axe? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
it puts the box down so nothing gets in, nothing gets out for a couple seconds. Perfect.
That one might be the most overt reference. That's from like the original Gundam. It was Ramba Rawl's fucking Zaku called the Goof.
I mean, it's the goof without without the blue and the tentacles, but he's swinging that axe. You're spinning, you spin to win, and deny the point capture. If you have to
Not
observe,
the box, right?
yeah, anytime someone has to like grab the flag or like capture the objective or destroy the objective, they have to get real close and press the triangle button. And in this case, you just deny that for a couple seconds, and that might win the entire game. So Yeah, that's no Zaku, boy. That is the line he
I'm
says.
glad to
He literally
see.
says that.
I'm glad to see that Thresh's box from League is like escaping into more games, because the ability of I have put you into a cube that you cannot leave
Hmm.
and you're stuck in here with me is just super fun.
Yeah, you can't get in if I have to protect, but if you are in, you're not getting out. Real fun, and then you just go bzzz, and that's it, you know. Um, and then there was the other one I tried was the Sky Raider, which is, hey, you like Starscream? Do you
I
like
do.
do you like Macross?
do.
Then guess what? Turn into the plane. And
Goes
now,
way faster than I thought it would.
so this is where the game gets nuts because you turn into a plane and you're now playing Ace Combat in the middle of a team shooter.
Against the other guys who turn into planes. But if any of those aren't around or you took them out, now you're just doing dive bombs against characters that don't know you're there because you're gone by the time your missiles fire off.
Yeah, you're seeing the damage indicators from a full circle around you, and you're like, I can't possibly, what the fuck, and it's blasting off. And the way lock on works in this is it is not a hard lock on. This is not Ace Combat where the camera will follow and snap to keep you in view. It's going to basically be like whatever is in your large reticle is going to take a couple seconds depending on the weapon, and when it locks on, you can fire and it's guaranteed to hit that.
As
that
long as
direction.
it's now within this big circle.
Yes, but like you have to manually keep that circle where it's, you got to paint your targets, right?
I think the most interesting thing is that the LCS targeting takes like a full second to lock on to any target.
So it's weapon dependent,
Yeah.
But
But it's not instantaneous. Because I was picking up robots and firing away. I'm like, why the fuck am I not hitting? Oh, I have to literally wait until I acquire the target.
So apparently, that's old old Armored Core lock on system, right? Yeah, so that's there. And like, speaking of more Armored Core, of course, like a lot of this game feels like it in terms of like the camera placement and boosting and dodging to the left and right and up and down, so that like it feels like the camera can't keep up with the speed of the robot. Like that's a really fun feeling. It feels as if they put speed, juice, and design first and foremost.
Yeah.
And then
We'll figure out the rest of the game.
And then we'll figure out the rest later. Yeah. I didn't even.
Like, what is it? Is it Battle Royale? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I didn't even know what the genre was. I thought it was PvE until the last second. Like it was like when it loaded in, and you make your character and go in and shit, and it's like, oh yeah, loading you into an online match, and I was like, really? Oh, okay, huh? And it's like you're straight up doing team shooting. It's basically like. Yeah, you take that kind of lock on and gameplay and juice of like Armored Core. You take like some of the I'd say like the type of kits you get on characters in Ambon, the Gundam X versus Maxi Boost on. But it's way faster than that. And that game in particular, and Virtual On, have an element of them to like, you have a short boost meter. That means you're going to have these movement bursts and then a cooldown, and you're going to land, and then you're going to do a fast action lock on, do a melee zap zap shoot, and then everyone's going to pause and have a cooldown, and you kind of have burst go. And here you just go for a while. Your fuel
you need to boost a lot before you need to regenerate.
Yeah, it gives you, which is, again, that's more like AC6, right? You've got the, full 10 seconds in some cases, I would say, of like high speed robot action before you've got to stop and let it come back in and let it cool down. Some of your big offensive actions are going to take up more than that. But you have the ability to like boost in, fuck up an enemy, and boost out, and like if no one else catches you, you can do that clean. There's cool shit in there, like the Inferno has the ability to do it has that evasive action, which is basically just the Gundam F91 after images, where it like, you know, it dashes out of place and you see the image of where it was, and you can do that multiple times, creating like diversionary targets. That shit is so just cool to look at. And yeah, I love seeing that being like, hey, yeah, you know, legally distinct, we fucking designed that shit, we can do what we want, fuck you. So, you know, you get things that are not, everything looks a little similar to something you kind of know, but it's still like got its own pieces and bits and elements and flair to it, because again, these folks know what they're doing. Yeah, had a lot of fun with that. The comms voice was pretty active. Stratum shatterers available. Stratum, like, okay, that should probably
I'm torn
be,
because like the game's entire audiovisual interface is going to absolutely flood the fucking screen and airways with shit, because it's supposed to look like a goddamn anime, right?
be,
So
yeah.
I want my menus exploding off everything. But the announcer in particular was just like,
Yeah.
shut up.
And it seems like you can turn them off in some menus, you know, or some places. But in any case, though, the overall, yeah, really fast, really fun. If you're down with breakneck speed team shooting and the fact that like you're like, that's in the sky and it's gone, fuck it, okay, I'm fighting over here, dealing with this, and then the team shooter, I learned in Overwatch and then eventually in Apex that, like, you know, you should kind of roll together and fulfill your roles and do the objective as a team.
No, that's not happening here. No,
Everyone is doing everything in all directions.
You just go, man.
Good luck. And like, oh, someone's
Sticking together as a team doesn't make any sense in a setting in which you can cross the entire map in like 3
seconds. Exactly. It's like, who's got the flag over there? Cool. I'll hit the one corner, take this dude out. I'll be back over there in a second. You know, yeah, everyone is moving at that speed. And like, you know, jets chasing each other. Like, if you play a game of fucking capture the flag and drop it off at the objective with someone who just turned into a fucking jet and is zooming across them, like, good luck, you know? But like, if you can keep them in the frame long enough, you can drill up to them. But it's so fast.
One of the things that I thought was fascinating was I played against what was the super heavy one, with all the guns. What's that one called again?
The Tricera.
Tricera, right? So I played against a Tricera, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of firepower coming out of that turret, which is mostly invincible, except from the top, so that's fine. And I was like, that just seems really good. And then I played as, I think it's called Falcon, the one that's just Starscreen, just
the other, yeah. There's the bullet jet, and then there's the beam jet.
Right? I'm like, wow, this seems really good. And then I played as Tricera, and I discovered that its physical controlling turning radius is in fact really bad.
It can't keep up.
In the turret, it's terrible, but even out of the turret, it's actually like turning your robot is still physically pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, no, there's a couple of these faster types that will just zip around this turning radius.
And that's how you deal with the damage output and survivability, because it can heal itself really well and just stay alive while doing a ton of damage. But it cannot keep up with the movement, you know? I don't know that is going to be enough of a balance to everything.
Didn't feel like enough, but it's there.
And if a player is, like, it's kind of like, you know, if someone's really good at headshots and they're playing, like in Rivals, if you're playing Hella and you're great at headshots, you can't nerf that. That's going to be amazing no matter what. And similarly here, if you're great, then the balance is it's not going to be a
well, let me
perfect
tell
rock,
you
paper,
something.
scissors, foil.
Something to keep in mind when we were playing Marvel Rivals, when we were playing Mecha Break, and definitely when we were playing 2XKO, is that balance is not final.
No. Everything in alpha is subject to change, of course. It's funny to see the word alpha being used for its actual purpose and not for some bullshit trailer at an award show.
Yeah, all of these are early.
Mecha Break was fun. I enjoyed the fact that you can go in and customize your details quite a good bit for colors and stuff like that. Seems like they know that, hey, this is not a full-on Armored Core level of like build your own shit, but it's a team shooter, so there's got to be roles, but you can still go in and do a lot. We don't know what the microtransactions are going to look like, so that's always a pending asterisk, of course.
No, a little bit. The loot boxes are in the game right now. You just get them from whatever, and it's parts that you can replace on your robot that give like 2 or 3 percentile buffs.
And yeah, you can put 3 accessories into a given limb and tweak things or so on and yada yada. But yeah, overall, it felt pretty fun and felt like a different kind of team shooter, and it scratches a big old mecha itch as well. Of course, yeah, I mean, Gundam Evolution was really fun. I really enjoyed that as a mecha team shooter as too. I love the fact that this one is in third person. That's really, really fun. Yeah, and I think Gundam Breaker is also, coming out as well and such. But as far as like all of these cool Zone of the Enders, Speed, Ace Combat, and Armored Core, and all these little things, being there, the fact that it's a team shooter, I think, sets it apart from a lot of those because you don't usually end up getting that, and felt like it would be a lot of fun. I just could also see the skill ceiling being above my fucking pay grade.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I can't
I felt
zip by and perfectly trace, the enemy.
I felt like maybe the time for me to have played this game was 10 years ago. Right? Like,
I also feel that this is a game where someone on a mouse will just annihilate someone on a controller. I like to play my third-person games on a controller as if I was playing an old game from a couple generations ago.
Yeah, I would like to play this one on console and turn that crossplay off.
Boy, are people gonna just murder it with mouse. It's nuts. I would say that, with the exception of those super heavy characters, even the one you start with, that's basically just a Gundam,
It is very much just a Gundam.
The default Ryu of the mechas you start with are asking you to be like, hey, this is high speed movement, this is high speed action, you're going.
There's something extreme about how much it's built for mouse and keyboard. Because nearly all of the primary melee weapons live on the robot's left hand to coordinate with clicking the left mouse button. But on controller, you're clicking the right trigger.
R3, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mecha Break was dope. Yeah, some episodes are going to be going up of that, and again, #sponsored. So these are sponsored opinions.